Welcome back to Dahui, the dragon of the Yanshen, or maybe at this point it would be more accurate to say the dragon of Eastern Hellas. I think we're going to immediately attack these guys, who I'm not going to even try and pronounce. So for now, let's bring our army together, get them into the region. We'll also begin integrating the Harpies. We've kept them around for quite a while, but they've reached their full height, so it's time they went away. We do have all the new vassals we took down here that we need to improve relationships with so we can integrate. But for now, let's unpause the game, wait for our glorious armies to get into position. And there we go. We are a little low on the cannon side. As I always say, I forget, or maybe don't forget, but I hesitate to build cannons. It probably is time that we do so, and I think we'll do it after this war. It does say the enemy is pretty strong if we look at the numbers, but a lot of these numbers are actually vassals of the Raj, not the Raj's actual army. Raj only has 92,000 men, not the 100,000 infantry, 44,000 cavalry and 78,000 cannons that the game would lead us to believe. Before we actually start this war, could we phalanx these guys? Ooh, it'll be close, I think. We'll have to see. Our administrative efficiency is actually what's pushing us away because we're over our government capacity, unfortunately. There's not much we can really do to fix that, though. We're building courthouses. We don't have the points to expand our government, unfortunately. Ah well, there's not like we need to full annex them anyway. These guys tend to be pretty forted. Their idea is strengthen their forts. They're one of those fort nations. So I think our priority instead of fighting them is actually just going to be to cross over and fight with the Raj. We can deal with them later, obviously. We'll leave these 3 regiments to try and pacify them, stack white their armies if possible. I'm thinking that we try and shatter the Raj here. It would cost 79 war score for us to take their capital, unfortunately. So maybe we'll leave it. Let the Raj continue to exist. It's not like their existence costs us anything. Luckily, or maybe not so luckily, but due to our intended maneuvers, our siege ability is very high. So hopefully we can siege down these Raj provinces fairly quickly. There we go, we've broken through. We'll head straight for their capital. No reason to really keep them in the war since we can't take their capital like I was envisioning. So I think we'll just knock them out. Do they have any cool allies? Not really. Just the weak nations of the region. So I don't think we'll lose any sleep over trying to get them to end relationships. We've actually managed to cultural convert enough of the Jia region that we finished this mission, Footholds in the Hills. This removes the Yanification campaign and gives us the modifier Hellas in Yanshen's image 1, as you can see, which will level up as we complete these missions. It also lets us pass another Yanification edict in a 3rd state, as opposed to just the 2 we were currently dealing with. With their capital siege down, the Rajas had enough. I think we'll just white piece them. No reason to go crazy. They'll have their time. There we go, sieging down their capital fort took a little while. So what are we going to take? I don't think we're going to go crazy since we can't phalanx them, but I am thinking we take their southern coastal area. If only because it gives us a border with this land here, which one of our vassals actually has cause on. And then we should be able to ask our good friends in the Free Slaves to just return that land to our vassal. We'll also have these guys end their alliance with the Raj. Something I should have probably done with the Raj, but I forgot about it. And there we go. Then we'll look over at the Raj and we'll say, you know, a good friend of mine says your land is actually theirs. We'll just take it off them. It's going to take quite a lot of favours because this land is quite valuable. Since we're at max trust, there's no reason for us not to spend these favours to get this land back. It'll make it cheaper to conquer the free slaves in the future after all. And it's about time we cross them off anyway. So we'll likely get all this land, then we'll say, we're done with you alliance-wise. Now that we've taken that land, that single province, we can complete this mission, no longer defiant, which gives us claims, though not permanent claims, on this whole area. Then, once we complete the next mission, we'll gain permanent claims. So it's kind of a test of speed, I guess. With that in mind, well, we've still got a truce with Mo Huang. We could declare war on these guys here. They do have an alliance with Mo Hong, so we could draw Mo Hong in. There's also the pirate nation here, though, I mean, we do have a navy. We only have 1 transport ship though, so naval landings won't be an option. But we could just occupy their land and demand they hand over their other lands at sea. We might do that just so that we can avoid having to bother with a navy. But yeah, let's declare one of these guys first of all. Could we phalanx them? No, we're just over the limit. I think we'll take their capital though, and we'll use the opportunity to white peace Mohong so that it's faster for our next war. While we're at war with them, we'll also declare war on the pirates. Good to remove them from the board. Mohong's had enough, we'll just white peace them so that our truce is short. We've completed the unification up here, and one thing I want to draw attention to is we have our first dragon hobgoblin province. We'll work to create more of these. We'd like to see the dragon hobgoblins take over. As discussed, we're not going to be able to full annex these guys, but I think we'll reduce them to like, I don't know, one location. What are they going to do? We'll go back for them later. Doing this has actually given us enough land in the rainforest here that we can complete the mission to give us permanent claims on it, so we don't need to worry about losing our claims. One thing we do need to do with the pirates is take their capital. So we're going to use our one transport ship. Or is there army here? If it is, no, it looks, there's 2 guys here. It's not really going to be safe transporting our army over. Let me build a few more transports. It's not a colossal deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 19 transports should do it. Since this war's pretty much over, I'm thinking we take our army elsewhere. Time for us to slam down on the Dangunnies again, I think. Send the army up. We are over our overextension limit though, but we're coring. And once we finish coring, that problem will be solved, right? Dangun here is actually being attacked by Wesdam, which has colonized some of the locations here, which is a bit annoying. Hopefully we can take everything we need from Dangun without Wesdam getting involved. We'll attack for the capital of Dangun. I mean, Dangun is very weak compared to us. I'm more concerned that if Wesdam occupies locations, we of course won't be able to demand them. We're going to rapidly occupy the territory we need. Who knows, maybe the Dangunni will win and take these 2 provinces off Wesdam, which means we won't need to take those provinces ourselves at a later date, which would be nice. I don't really enjoy fighting the colonizers in situations where I can't really reach them and they can't really reach me, or if they do reach me, they just die. So we essentially just have to fight wars where we wait. But we'll see what happens. Not like we're in a massive rush. Speaking of massive rush, our navy's online. Fortunately, we're not able to take all the land we want from Dangun. So I think let's not push the envelope. Instead of taking all of this land, we're just going to take their coast and cut them off from Wesdam. Something like this, I think. Maybe be a little greedy. Just this way, Wesdam won't be able to take their land, and we can come back for in the future without taking too much. Got to be careful not to get too greedy, right? Though greed is good. And I'm definitely hitting the greed levels that you've always got to be cautious of. 200 overextension. The pirates have had enough. We're not going to full annex them. We'll leave them with their one location, which is in Sarhel, so we don't care about it. Have them revoke their cause though. And they could, you know, give us war reparations, transfer, trade, and there we go. I think we're going to relax a little now. Just going to focus on coring. We've cored a lot of it though, but it's about time we turn ourselves back west. When does the truce with Mohong end? 2 years, so not too long, but it's likely we're going to attack one of the other middle powers first. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be Mohong we just attack next. So I said we're going to relax a little. Let's complete this mission. Jahir's furthest city, which triggers the event, the fate of the Kino merchants. The Chancellor of Dahui was sitting down to his morning tea, reviewing financial reports from different departments and ministries, when a courier entered carrying a scroll with a black wax seal. He had been reviewing this month's memorandum from the Vice Ministry of Commerce, which had once again reported astonishing revenue from trade. Let's check that just to verify. Trade income, nearly 200 ducats. Not that astonishing, as it had ever since the Empire had secured the port of Kelin. They had not merely been subject of dry missives for the imperial bureaucracy, but was reflecting the splendid panoply of exotic goods on display in the Grand Bazaar of Zhaoming. It would seem the Jade Seal merchants had outdone themselves. However, the scroll the courier bore from the Directorate of Perpetual Happiness told a different story. Agents and informers from within the House of Jade Seal merchants attested to wide-scale fraud in an apparent effort to save time and capital in dismantling and recreating the trade routes long established by Kino merchants. They had simply rented their Jade Seal rights to the locals for a hefty fee. According to the Directorate, there was a huge network based in Kelin of native traders posing as Yan magnates. The Chancellor put down the scroll and ordered a larger, stronger pot of tea. be brought to him. It went without question that the laziness and fraud of Jade Seal merchants be punished severely, revoking their rights, seizing their property, banishing them from their cities, and crippling them and their male relatives out to the 5th degree so they would live as beggars would be a proportionate response to their thievery. But the fate of the native Kino merchants was not so obvious to him. It would be well received among the remaining Jade Seal merchant houses to wipe out the Kino and grant them the rights and property. However, that would surely unsettle the harmony of the record trade profits Dahui was enjoying. The Kino merchants had shown initiative and resourcefulness, and the fruits of their labour could hardly be denied. Granting them their own Jade Seals, on the condition of adopting Yan language and customs, would perhaps even further the rights of Dahui's trade network. He pondered the choice deeply before drafting a note to Dragon King Emperor Jinju IV with his recommended course of action. So we have 2 choices here. The first one, we lose 5 mercantilism, gain a merchant for about 50 years, and we level up the trade centre in this province. Or we can pick the second option, where we say the rights of the Yan must not be diluted, where the culture in this province, the only province in the game I believe which is a Yahan half-elf province, will become a Yan province. We'll also gain 10 mercantilism, but that doesn't mean anything for us because we're maxed. Personally, I prefer the ruthless option here, just because converting locations or provinces to our culture is something that helps us progress down our cultural enrichment mission trees. So just forcing countries to become us is beneficial. So I think we're going to do just that. Wiping out the only half-elf province, but it's a small price to pay. One thing we're also going to begin doing is vassalizing the small nations up here in this region. There's no real need to, but it's nice to bring more nations under our rule, especially since we're starting to run out of vassals here in the south. Now, before I forget, I'm going to start including more cannons in our armies. We could start trading out cavalry now and focusing on just infantry, but I think we'll leave cavalry in a bit longer. It's always nice to have them, although maybe not. Dahui is all about that infantry, right? Ah, well, we'll leave them here for a little bit. We'll go up to around 5 cannons for each regiment. Depending on how we look once that's done, we might expand our army as well. Oh, and a war wizard just spawned. That's nice. We've started to reach that point where the hardest part is finding a way to spend all your money. Ah, global trader spawned, and it's actually spawned in Tianlao. Perfect. I always knew we were the trade capital of the world. It's about time some institutions started spawning in our lands. Since global trade has happened, we're going to start finishing the Age of Unraveling now and head on to the Age of the Witch Kings, where we'll actually have started caring about absolutionism. We've returned all of our vassals' cores from the free slaves, so as I said, I think it's time we cut them off. On a similar note, our truce with Mohong has expired, so I think it's time we jump them again. Could we full annex them? No. Unfortunate, but I wasn't really surprised. I didn't really expect to. We're going to favour taking land in the Bomb Dam region, because as I mentioned, we only have claims here, and they'll expire eventually. We need to take around 25 provinces. We own 18. We need to make sure we do that before those claims expire. I think we'll keep the free slaves as an ally for the moment, but we really are at the point where we want to cut them off. My reason for keeping them is simply to avoid them forming a coalition just yet against us. Also behind this, let's raise another army. I don't think we'll include any cavalry in this one though. It'll be our template for armies going forward. 20 infantry, 10 cannons. I know it's not exactly optimal, but I'm too lazy to make the exact optimal armies, so I usually just make standard ones and go with that. Right, let's get rid of Mohong. Well, not get rid of them, just won't be able to full annex them, but we'll take them down a few sizes. They do have some allies, but I don't think they have much help. So what are we going to take from this war? As I said, I want to take their land up here. We'll also annex... Should we annex their vassal? Problem with annexing their vassal is it's costly. And instead of annexing their vassal, we could just take their vassal for ourselves once we full annex them. So I think maybe we'll do that instead. We'll leave their vassal alive. Just take their territory. Something like this I think would reduce them down enough. There is one worry. If we reduce them too low, their vassals may revolt, but I think it should be fine. They're actually integrating one of the vassals right now, so I think it'll be fine, taking that bare minimum amount of land. We do want to go for these guys at some point as well. They also have lands in Bombast. So I think what we're going to do with these guys is we're going to white peace them, and then they'll likely be our next target, which they're still allied with Mohong, so they'll pull them in, and we can use that as a way to cause the truce with Mohong to end sooner. Ah, there goes our ruler. We're now on Jinju Long the 5th. He's not a very talented one, just a 213. We kind of hope he dies soon. He is a powerful mage though. So I think we'll make him into a mage general and just hope he doesn't live very long. In fact, let's put him in an army and have him drill. It might be better that he doesn't have a son and he just dies so a random Long can take the throne. Since our dynasty is bound, we don't have to worry about losing it. We've restored the hold up here. The dwarves can now enjoy their artistry hold, working at max capacity. We could endeavour to make it more of a hold, but this isn't a dwarf campaign. We did manage to have a son, which I'm not that keen on. He's pretty good though, 455. He, like all the rest, will of course be Jinju, hopefully the 6th. He might just die, which would be an annoyance, but these things happen. After a lot of bullying, Mohong has finally had enough. Annexing them, well, taking all their land puts us well over our overextension limit, so we'll need to integrate all this land before we do anything else. The free slaves have decided to anger me and have declared war on the nation we were talking about conquering, which could potentially set us back a bit. Unfortunately, more and more of these Canorian nations are intruding on our glorious rightful claims. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to threaten the ones like Laurent to just give up the land. But weaker ones, like say, oh wait a minute, these guys have converted to the cult of Uros. Can I even see them? Not really. This religion started popping up recently, but it's born from like a random event. So it's weird to see nations converting it because of how unlikely it is. Nice to see though. We always love to see the smaller religions standing up and making their presence known. We've actually converted enough that we've triggered one of the formations of a new culture. Funny, because I haven't actually been converting cultures in these areas, but let's see. A new dish has made its debut in the palace kitchens of Dragon Emperor Jinju V. Rich horse flesh from the plains of Bidnikai, layered over tender rice from the land's bountiful paddies, seasoned with sublime Sikai salt, all wrapped up in fragrant tea leaves from the Jiyut Gardens. The Dragon Emperor has recently taken a keen interest in the vibrant culture of his southern subjects. A tapestry depicting the ancient bomb forts, restored with Yan-style crenellations and towers, hangs prominently in the southwest Great Hall. Minstrels sing bawdy tales during the palace's late-night soirees, with lyrics from the flower boats of the Xiuxi Pang sung over traditional melodies and instruments of Kai headsmen. Even the rare Sun Elf and Nephirite Dwarf have found their place at court, now intriguing subjects of the Dragon Throne instead of enemy and foreign. These are not just examples of a mere passing royal fad, but indications of a genuine new Yan culture emerging on the other side of the Verkal. The Naamzau, the Yan of the Southlands, have sunk their roots and spread their tendrils along every branch of the tributary of the Telebai, Hukai and Tamran Mao, with each one the White Dragon roots even more firmly in the south. Splendid, passed the horse. So once we press this, all of the cultures that exist in these provinces will transition to that new culture, and if we convert any more in these provinces, they'll also transition. So once we press this, you can see it only made these few provinces up here. Naamzau is this one? No, this one's not. This one up here is in the Jia, so it doesn't count. But yes, I think there's a little too few provinces to trigger this. Only 4. But who am I to judge? I can never remember if it's based on the mission tree progress or on conversion progress. Based on that, I think it might be based on mission tree progress, since we've just conquered most of the Southlands now. Oh, the Thunder Fist has been brought back into the world, released by our free slave friends. I suppose that's better than them taking the land themselves, but as I've keep saying, it's time. We're no longer going to be friends with you. We are just going to conquer the Thunder Fist that have been released though. We're of course going to declare war while we're still an ally, because that way they'll refuse to join. They want us to give them some soldiers. We'll say no. No soldiers for you. And then we'll say goodbye. You're not my friend anymore. You see, you committed the grave error of holding land that I want. We'll see about conquering them in the future. Fighting with the free slaves is always quite an ordeal though. Normally just because there's so many of them. And they tend to just call up mercenaries, so we'll need to take the war seriously when it does happen. There goes the Thunder Fist, barely knew you, and you're already gone. We're just going to clean up this nation now that they've been defeated and been forced to hand out land. Bim Lao has also been released, so we'll conquer them too. Whoever released them is no longer protecting them after releasing them. Very uncivilized if you ask me. If you're going to release someone, you should protect them all the way. We've completed the resettling of the ruined kingdoms. The reason I focus on this one is because it's nice to unify all the hobgoblins. There's only 2 non-dragon hobgoblins left in the region. Of course, there's still the eagle hobgoblins up in their northern lands. But for now, only the lion hobgoblins are left. The boar is gone. The wolf is gone. Only dragon remains. We'll finish this mission. This lets us create another edict in a 4th province. Just let the Yanification take hold. Our truce is up with Dangan. Unfortunately, they've lost quite a bit of land to Kenorian interlopers. Should we even declare war on them now? We don't really want to help the Kenorians. It'd be nice if we could swoop in and cut them off. For example, if this location or this location was liberated, we could occupy it and that would stop the Kenorians taking land. We have vassalized this guy up here who actually has cores on quite a bit of this land, so we'd like to return it to him. So maybe we'll just declare war with the intent of returning land to our vassal. I think that's what we'll do. We'll hold off annexing more land from the Dangunis for now. It's not like we're in a rush. We can afford to take a moment to help one of our vassals out. I think we'll peace out quickly with the Dangunis and just take these cores as fast as possible. We don't want to risk. We'd rather not see Bajarik expand too much in this land, so we're just going to take those cores and peace out. If he does decide to take these lands for himself, we should be able to just threaten him to give them back to our vassal. Surely, right? We've arrived in the Age of the Witch King. We start with 0 or minus 31 absolutionism, so we're going to need to cut back on a lot of these reforms or privileges that we've handed out. The estates have been a little too privileged for a little too long, and so corrections will need to be made. Now we're going to go on a bit of a misadventure up here against Verkal Gulan. They have a bunch of cores that belong to our vassals, so I think we're going to help them retake their rightful territory. One of our vassals up here is an eagle hobgoblin nation as well, so it's only right and just that we help them reclaim their territory. We're going to need to walk quite a ways round though to actually get to the area, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We haven't built the tunnel yet that lets us connect up. One thing of note though is that they've called in the Lake Federation, or the Unified Lake Federation. It's always really annoying to fight them because there's just a lot of them and they control all the land, but I'm sure it'll be fine. There's only 200,000 of them, you know, barely even a drop in the bucket when compared to Dahui's might. We've killed a respectable amount of them, nearly 150,000. They're not close to piecing out though, and they've got another 100,000 there. I'm thinking that we actually go all the way and take all of the region from Verkal, or Gulan would probably be the correct way to call them, just so I never have to fight them ever again, hopefully. And it is very much a hope more so than anything else. So before we start making plans, let's see if we can't just eliminate these guys. Get them out of this war. There's a nice stack wipe. Let's continue chasing them. There's another group. Where'd the... there they go. See if we can grab this nearly 100k stack. Eliminating them would be very nice. Might even be enough to push these guys out of the war. They've really lost their numbers. 200,000 lost. Problem is they just keep coming. They're one of those nations where you just stack wipe them over and over again, but they don't stop. They just don't care. They can come back. They will. Good thing though is their armies are usually pretty terrible. It usually doesn't make much of a difference if they do keep coming. Just an annoyance. So luckily we are Bianfang, and such annoyances don't annoy us particularly much. If we were another nation though, it'd definitely be terrible. I was wondering if anyone would try it. We've got a bit of a coalition on our hands. We've only got 3 nations in currently. One province minor and this nation down here. They really hate us though, from taking their land. I have to see whether the big cheeses decide to join. Though honestly, I'm not too worried. It'd be annoying if Mohong joins, but we're gonna conquer them anyway, I think. Do have to be a little careful though. I have the bad habit of becoming a little too cocky and just continuing my expansion when I should really take a moment to stop. Ooh, there goes our ruler. We're now in a regency. Hopefully our son doesn't die. He's only 8 years old. If he can come to the throne, he'll be a very good ruler. Stat-wise. The only way he could be better is if, you know, he had max stat, or if he's a mage. We'll have to see if he is a mage though. It's unclear to me right now. He wasn't born from a mage event, so if he is a mage, it'll be due to random chance. One of the reasons that fighting these guys is so horrible is that they hide on their island, and we can't bring our navy round because we haven't got vision. So they hide on their island, and even if we could bring their navy around, their navy's bigger than ours, and we can't reach them on their little island, so they peek out, siege locations down, And then they hide again. We're pretty close to them piecing out though, so I think we'll wait. Ah, they want to wipe peace. Excellent. Does that mean we can end the war now? No, we'll still need to rack up some war score against the dwarves, which is annoying. I'm going to send most of our army home though. One thing I'm wary of is getting trapped over this side. Although, to be fair, we could just declare war through Dangun, which we may do. There's still a few locations that our vassals have cores on that we could take off them. But I am going to continue this war till we take all of this land. I'd rather not fight these big guys again if I can avoid it. I want to take the limits of our expansion in the region, just to avoid having to fight up here again if possible. It's not a very pleasant area to fight in, especially when we can't see much of what's up here. Right, the dwarves have had enough, thankfully. Hopefully we never have to fight them ever again. Go home, begin coring all this land we took. Quite a fair amount of it, but luckily we didn't go over our limit. Overextension. We'll probably build big forts here and hope they're enough to keep the enemy back. We are building the tunnel here. We're only on the 2nd level though. Could invest some manpower in it. I think we will. Let's invest like 50,000. Well, because once it's finished we'll be able to just walk from one side to the other. We won't need to go all the way around. Is our truce over with Dangun? Almost. 2 months. So I think we'll jump them next. They managed to not give any land to the Vikings when they went to war with them. So that's good. Ooh, actually we're in a regency council, aren't we? So we can't declare war. Oh well. We can just wait the few years it's going to take for our king to come of age. It's not going to be that long. Ah, the gnomes have started to flow to this region of the world. We can just send them away. There isn't much reason to though. Letting them set up their networks across the region will provide bonuses to us in the long run. Jinju's finally come of age. He comes of age as a craven, and we immediately lose all our claims on these provinces. Not the end of the world though. We're only 5 provinces off gaining perma claims on the region, and if we conquer Mohong, we'll steal their vassal here, and their 5 provinces will count towards our limit. There's currently a coalition against us though. The coalitions are forming and then almost immediately disbanding though, so if we wait for a little bit, it should just disband on its own. A new drill has been invented, the Karashi drill. Surely there will be no consequences to this. How exciting. Our next idea is available. It's tempting at this point to go religious. No particular reason. Admin is one of the things that's always down though because of all our coring. I suppose we'll focus on it, probably permanently, and we'll go admin. We'll have to be a little careful when it comes to expanding aggressively now. We need to make sure that we don't spend all of our admin on ideas. Coalition has expanded, time for our expansion. Mohong shouldn't provide anything even close to a threat at this point. We'll annex them. We'll leave these guys alive because they'll instantly become our vassal once we win the war. I suppose we'll leave their other guys as well. They're very weak and pathetic. We also couldn't full annex them. They're going to hate us though, and they do already hate us because of aggressive expansion. So we may never be able to integrate them, but we can always just give them independence and then conquer them if we need to. Oh, a princess has been born. Our first potential female long ruler. Well, we can't call her Jinju. What should we call her? Maybe just Shao. Or maybe we could just call her Jinju and then add an I and name her after a rather well-known mummified noblewoman. I think we'll go with that. We'll see if she actually lives and doesn't get replaced by a mage heir. There goes Mohong. They tried their best. It just wasn't good enough. Have them remove some cores from us. Not like it does anything really, but it feels fun to do. Well, fun it may be, but it also crashed the game. Surely it won't happen a second time though. Just rack up the war score. It was probably the revoking the cores which done it. This time we won't revoke any cores, and then apparently they'll refuse the peace. Alright, this time, there we go. No crash this time, perfect. Just as I like it. So of course we stole all their vassals. Their vassals hate us though, as mentioned. There's not much we can do to make them like us due to aggressive expansion, but we'll keep them around for a little bit. We should be able to make them loyal just from increasing relationships, but making them loyal enough to integrate is going to be a separate issue. So let's complete this mission. This will give us claims on all of the Bombay territory, so we can expand there, making up for the claims we lost. Now we have to do one of my least favorite kind of missions in this mod. One where we have to build a certain amount of buildings. We need 6 provinces, they need to have max level forts, they need to have a barracks, and they need to have a rampart. Of course, they have to be in the Bomdan region as well. We already start with a near max level fort here, so I think we'll just build a rampart here because this province fits the bill. Do we have anyone else that fits the bill? These guys do apparently. This one's already got a manufacturer though, so we'll need to demolish that. There's a better way to do it. I could have just expanded infrastructure, but I was a little lazy in that instance, and I didn't want to spend the 5 dev to do it. So that's 3. We'll need to build barracks in them though. We need another 3. Pick this place because it's got a lot of space. Build a fort first of all. Then I guess we'll pick this place as well because it's also got space. Then I guess we'll pick this one too because it's also got space. That should be enough. The problem is remembering to do it. Remembering can and usually is hard. Our truce is over with Dangun though. I think it's time for us to attack them again. We're going to give back the 1 core our vassal has on their land. Then they should be completely cut off from the interloping Kinorians. We're also going to see if we can't take their capital as well and finish them off in that way. There we go, very quick war. We'll leave them with all their land. They're completely surrounded by us as mentioned, so no one should be able to attack them from this point on. They are both safe and not so safe. Now we can complete this mission. The Hermit Kingdom gives us a permanent claim on this entire region, or maybe it's better to say subcontinent. Now you can kind of see the limit of our intended expansion, or at least what the devs intended us to expand to. There, I think we'll leave it there for today. We haven't done as much expanding as I kind of wanted to. I mean, we did expand a lot up here. We've pretty much taken all of this region now. There's just these 2 guys who are still independent. We're going to vassalize them though. They're monstrous, so we need to wait for them to improve the global perspective of them before we can though. Dangun of course is still around, but they're trapped within us now. Although actually they do border this tiny location here that belongs to these guys, but they'll probably just take it, which is what we want. We of course have Wesdam and these pirate guys up here, but we should be able to start just threatening them to give their locations over to us, which is what we'll likely do. Try to avoid a big war with them just because it'll be a bit of a waste of time. The ones who are more of a concern are Laurent down here, who have occupied some of these islands, and they're unlikely to just hand them over via threats. We'll need to think on that one. We'll probably just end up fighting them, hopefully in a very small war where we just stack wipe them if they decide to come over. Next time, our truce with the free slaves is going to end next month. So next time, I think it'll be time we destroy them. We'll also could return some of the cores our vassal has on them. That might make them like us more so that we can potentially integrate them in the future. I also need to make sure that, yes, we're still building the buildings. We need to build a rampart here, and we need to build a rampart here. I really do just not like these kind of missions just because they take so long. And I often forget because if the building takes a long time to build, I'll just forget about it. I think that's one that is now fully essentially finished. We have a similar mission over here to rebuild the ruined kingdoms. We need to build some manufacturers around. I've kind of held off on it because we get a lump sum of money based on our income when we do it, so I've kind of held off just because we're going to get a lot of money for doing it, and it's not like rushing down these missions really makes that much of a difference to us. What is going to form a bit of a block to us is this mission here that will require us to have an army of 100,000k, aka a million. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it though. One of the reasons you're probably intended to go quantity. Let's take a look, before we finish, let's take a look at that cultural map mode. Ah, isn't it beautiful? We've nearly entirely culturally enriched this part of the world. These gaps are actually cultures that are also enriched. Like we've got some serene Haramari here, we've got our dragon hobgoblins. We've also got some of these Yan half-orcs, which spawn from the orc territories. And then down here we've got our new culture that we formed. It's extended pretty far down. We've also converted a lot of the rainforest area. Shouldn't be long before the culture here spawns. If there is a culture, I'm pretty sure there's a culture here. I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure there is. We can look forward to that. For now though, as I said, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.